On the Nintendo Switch. Yeah.
So we're...
Always good to see the clackers. I love the clackers.
That's Benice's colloquialism for the guys that are helping us understand.
They've got some dungarees.
Oh, there's a clacker.
And they flap the little useless wings.
So let's talk about that kid that played it.
Oh yeah, that was interesting. We were minding the booth and this little kid came up. How old was he, Alex? I don't understand.
I wasn't there.
Oh, it was like...
I wasn't in the booth at that point.
6?
Okay.
7?
Right. The height that you're holding your hand to demonstrate the size
It
of this
doesn't help
child
anyone.
doesn't play really well on a podcast, but I would say that's maybe like a tall 6-year-old?
Okay, so maybe a bit older. But either way, he started the game up in town and he saw the clackers, and without even kind of getting a feel for what he was supposed to do or having a look around, he just started attacking everything that he saw. And obviously if you attack the clackers, they run away. And when they'd all gone, he didn't know what to do then.
Yeah, it was like, okay, that's victory, I've won.
It
They're
was
all
just
gone.
like
Where's the
such a
V-Bucks?
natural... I think he thought he had to clear the arena.
Yeah.
But it was such a natural thing for him to just pick it up.
It was
and go straight
instinct.
for that.
Yeah, the violence was instinctive.
Yeah, and I don't think.
Do you ever word
that
with his
has any
parents?
real world effect. Like, pardon.
Do you ever word with his parents?
It was just two kids, wasn't it?
Yeah, just two
Small
kids.
kid and a slightly larger kid.
I don't think that has any real world effect like people are arguing it does, but I think it's weird to see how gaming's changing with kids now. Like, they just go straight for...
Yeah, but to be fair, when I was a kid, if you gave me a platformer, I'd try and jump on things' heads.
Yeah.
It's maybe just a similar thing.
So it's
But
my
that's just
Miyamoto's
an,
fault. Miyamoto.
But it's just you get used to the game design that you have experienced,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
just assume that it applies to every model.
So what you're saying is we need a tutorial box that says don't shoot the clackers.
I think if you
In fact, you
had-
can't use a gun, can you, first time you get into town? Was he just spinning that?
No.
or
no,
just
just...
take the gun off? The
Just
crossbow
spin
gun.
yeah.
I think it's if you arrived to that point naturally, you would
Yeah.
get a sense for them being friendlies.
But they weren't. The clackers
Right.
just stand there. You know, they don't come at you. They're not in an aggressive
Yeah.
stance.
Yeah.
It was just.
But you do get cash, don't you, for killing them? So maybe it was like, oh, well, buy me a new skin. Because you said it was nothing to do with Fortnite, and I took. I don't think that's the case. I think it absolutely is, and that's based on what Pete was saying about platformers. I think that what you get used to is what you transfer to other games.
Oh, I more meant that I don't think it has any transfer to kind of real life violent behaviour.
Oh right, no, I
More
don't.
just
No.
the way gaming's changing.
Yeah.
For kids, at least.
Yeah. So there's a few people who played Stranger that had never played it before.
It was interesting.
Like you?
It was an interesting mix of seeing people that walk past the stand and go, "Oh, I remember that," and then there are people that walk past the stand and go, "Isn't that an old game?" And then there are people that walk up and start playing that, when you get talking to them, have no experience of Stranger's Wrath at all. Maybe don't even know who Oddworld are.
I think some people see, because the stand has the Oddworld logo as part, well, as Oddworld written on above Stranger's Wrath, and people go, "Oh, Oddworld," and then they look at it and they go, "That's not like Oddworld," and they get confused.
It is very different stylistically to
Yeah.
the other Oddworld games. Obviously, Exodus and Munch.
It's my favourite.
It's tonally very different.
Well, I mean, it's the same. It touches on the same kind of subjects,
It does.
but it's
Sorry.
that's right. I've stopped now.
Sorry.
You put me off.
I was going to say we're going to have to be careful with spoilers. Now we're coming out on Switch.
Spoilers for Stranger.
Yeah. I know it's a very old spoiler, but it's still a very big spoiler if people haven't played it before.
That's true.
When we're marketing stuff, we're going to have to think about that.
The twist rather than the spoiler. you mean?
Yeah, someone was reporting on the Switch announcement and they didn't spoil it to spoil it. It was just a natural way the article went because it's such an old game, and some people were pointing out that was a big spoiler. So
I
it's
hadn't
probably
really
worth.
considered that. It's an interesting one to try and sell because the audience on Switch is there's a large element of the audience on Switch that would be into older games. Nintendo fans in general, I think, there's a large element of that audience that has a reverence for older games that might know it or at least know the brand. But then there's also a large swathe of Nintendo fans and Switch owners that are kids that will have no knowledge of the brand at all.
Mm-hmm.
And for them it'll be brand new and it might be their first experience of Oddworld. So it's going to be a difficult one to try and find what the marketing message is on it, I think. Especially because there's not really much of a historical marketing message to fall back on.
In what sense? For Stranger?
Yeah.
I think there's probably... Yeah, I think so. Not that it was hugely successful, but... there's lots of TV-style adverts and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was looking at it today and thinking... it's nice to have something on Switch, but then I thought, well, maybe we should have just ported Odyssey and said, hey, look, here's Odyssey on Switch or something, because it would have been... At trade shows, you see people walk past and you get that little hit of nostalgia. But you get a much bigger hit of nostalgia if it's Abe.
Yes.
Which is always the case, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's like instant icon that people can connect to straight away and go, oh, I want to see what that is. Even if it's the old game or the new game or what.
Yeah. Well, that year, a couple of years ago, when we had New and Tasty at EGX, and we put Odyssey on the original PS1 on a little tiny CRT TV.
We did, yeah, really, and that was really popular too.
People loved it.
But it's been nice. It's been nice to have it on Switch.
Yeah, it's nice to have something that we can interact with fans and talk about as well. Because obviously we can't talk too much about Soulstorm at this point. So yeah, it's nice. It's and what we're showing is a very early build, so there's a lot of sort of explanation that goes with any demonstration that you give to people. So there's a lot of almost hand-holding people through the demo.
Yeah, there's one bit that doesn't work.
Yeah,
for example.
Well, because it's not a demo, the whole game's bought. We brought the whole game with us, so you can play any part of it.
One guy did, didn't he, for about an hour?
One guy stood and played it for about an hour. Yeah,
all the way to.
He'd never played it before.
I know. He had a cheat on though.
Yeah.
One of the saves must have been funky. We played a hamster game.
I did. I enjoyed that. Kung Fu Hamster. I don't think people got my tweet about the panel, so we did a tweet about the panel on tomorrow for the careers bar, and everyone underneath is just asking me questions about Soulstorm.
Brilliant.
It's like,
at least you tagged yourself in the tweet, so they're asking you directly.
Yeah, directly about Soulstorm.
Brilliant.
I think.
Yeah, a careers panel, that's where we're going to debut the next big information about
just
Soulstorm.
Me, by myself.
But he's going to take it to a careers panel in Birmingham.
There's a guy asking about Soulstorm on PS Vita. You talk about that, Peter? I can ask you these questions though, because it's not my department. So, Peter, tell me about Soulstorm on PS Vita.
We haven't announced platforms yet.
Alright.
Why?
Why not, Peter?
Because those decisions have not been fully formed yet.
Why not?
We'll have more. We'll have more to discuss in the future.
Okay. Got B's panel, which is going to talk about Soulstorm and announce the Vita version.
Yep.
And I'm going home.
You're going home tomorrow. We're here until Sunday.